Okay, this week is very female heavy in our topics of discussion. Homeschool and pregnancy. Doesn't get much more mommy and me than that. But we're going to do a first trimester update. And this is our sixth baby. For those of you who are not aware, our sixth that is currently with us. We have had some miscarriages. And we are going to be talking just about how it's been. I'm 17 weeks right now, which is really exciting. You guys will be seeing this on the end of that 17th week. And we're just so grateful for how the Lord has blessed us with this pregnancy. And yeah, just feeling abundantly blessed. So anyways, we're going to get into all the stuff and give you guys some updates about it.
The Now That We're a Family podcast.
You know what's funny? I do think that, at least in my friend circle, there obviously pregnancies are not interesting to men in general, right? That's how it is. And then I think after your first child, after your wife's first pregnancy, then labor and delivery, you feel this crazy interest right away. We're kind of like, that was insane. Like, that was nuts. And then at least for me, and I know this was the case for some of my friends as well, is when those pregnancy conversations would be happening at church or at small group or just whatever, when you're with your friends, typically I would be checked out during those. But for the first 6 months after our first child, I was so interested. I was like, so what was it like for you? No way, how's your nausea? How's postpartum been?
It's so true, because we'd been through that experience together.
Yeah.
And Elisha wrote our birth story for Leon, our first. It was hilarious. I think all fathers should write the birth story from their perspective. It was such a fun read. If you guys get Top 5 Tuesday, you know what I'm talking about.
Was it in Top 5 Tuesday?
No, but you just know Elisha's style of writing. You could probably imagine how fun a birth story would be to read.
It genuinely blew my mind, that whole labor, delivery. It went so much faster than I was expecting, because even our first was a relatively quick labor.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It was awesome. So anyways, but then, you're sixth in, and I feel like you start to zone out.
Yeah, that's probably true. That is the classic, at least people in our stage of life. You get together with your friends, and it's like the women congregate and talk about homeschooling and pregnancy and postpartum, and maybe something pertaining to sourdough or something, or gardening. And then the men,
We throw theology in there every once in a while.
oh yeah, well, all of that's in the context of theology, right?
That's true, but we throw in the base study of it.
Yeah, and then I feel like the men, I don't know what we talk about. We talk about theology. That's all we talk about, actually. Yeah.
Totally depends on your friend group. Wow, I'm not used to. We had to move our studio a little bit. I keep bumping my mic here. I'm not used to it. I'm thankful for you moving it. We moved it to get out of the baking hot sun, and it actually feels great in the shade, which is nice.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through, I don't know, some stuff.
Yeah, I honestly am curious, because you are my wife. I don't care about other people's pregnancies anymore, but I care about your pregnancy more than ever.
Well, it affects you.
Yes.
So that's the thing. We'll go through some things that have been a kind of what's been bad about this pregnancy. Diet, fasting stuff, supplements, exercise, weight gain, breastfeeding, gender predictions, fluids, and cravings.
Whoa, so that was just a little preview of...
That's what I wrote down to go through. We didn't do a Q&A or anything for this. So no, you guys have not submitted any questions. Some of these topics I've gotten asked about a lot recently, so I just figured they would be kind of general interest to the pregnancy, and they're things that I like to know when I watch someone's pregnancy update. So anyways, that's what we're going to be covering today. So the first thing, something that's not gone well this pregnancy, has been my blood pressure. And I always have really low blood pressure, and I've always been really happy with that, and that it's low, but it's not unhealthy. And that's something that, I don't know, stood out to my first midwives. And they always just say, your numbers over your numbers, and I never understood what it meant. I was just like, okay, whatever, 140 over whatever, 120 over whatever. And then this pregnancy was the first time where my midwife checked me, and she was like, okay, you're 90 over 60. I'm not happy with that. That's not good. And it was the first time I was like, okay, so what do the numbers mean? What am I trying to get them up to? What's bad? What's good?
Yeah.
And so low blood pressure has been a thing with this pregnancy. And I kind of attribute that to just our move and not being as hydrated out here. I stopped drinking a gallon of water a day with our move. We're filtering our water, our cup situation. I never really know where my water bottle is. It's just like I do find myself thirsty a lot of the day and kind of being like, where's water, you know? And so I think there's that. Electrolytes, I stopped doing those daily just because they didn't sound good. And then supplementation, I've been really hit or miss supplementing with this pregnancy after getting out of the weeds with that initial nausea. I'm like super stickler about taking the stress pack. I start taking the stress pack when I think there's a chance I could be pregnant before I get the test. And that's the Neolife stress pack. I've referenced it before, but that's what really helps my nausea stay at bay and keeps me from throwing up. And so I was taking that very consistently up through around the peak of nausea, which is like 8 or 9 weeks. And then we moved, and I've just been kind of like sloppy with my supplements. So anyways, I think all that's contributed.
Boy, that makes me feel bad, honestly. I feel like I've not done a good job keeping you hydrated. Those are things I very much could have done a better job of being a teammate to you and keeping you hydrated, keeping you consistent on your supplements. What was the other thing you thought?
We're doing many other things as
general.
a teammate. I think, just overall.
The move was,
I don't know, maybe stress related. I don't know exactly all the things that can contribute to that, but this was at 12 weeks. I found that out. And then at my 16-week appointment, I was 100/60, which was an improvement.
Nice.
So I'm happy with that. I've still been kind of sloppy with everything, but getting into a groove with just routines here, and I think that's going to make a big difference.
Especially the last, 8 or 9 days.
Yes.
It's been way better.
Oh, it's been such a gift because I will say the first couple weeks, the first week was like, okay, this is adventure. We know this isn't supposed to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And then around 2.5 weeks in to living here in the tent, Elisha and I were like, is this the right decision? Should we be doing this? This is a lot of extra work. And like, maybe this is just a bad idea. Mm-hmm. We started second guessing it. And then the last week and a half, we got an evening routine. We have a morning routine. Now, you guys know we love our routines. We didn't realize how much we were in need of our routines. Yeah. And now we're like, oh, this is so special. This is so special. We're back to like getting in bed and looking at each other. I mean, like, today was amazing. And like, that's what we used to do. And so it's really special to feel like we're back there.
Yes. Yeah, we don't want the tent season to end now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go into gender predictions.
Well, okay. So you're kind of bouncing around
I'm just going to bounce around because of my fatigue and nausea.
Currently, you're feeling...
Well, I was going to go into fatigue and nausea next. And I feel like this has to do with my gender prediction for this pregnancy.
Got it.
So I'm just going to tie them together.
I like it.
Okay. So I think this baby is a girl. Mm-hmm. Like 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. So we'll play that clip when we have a boy. But anyways. And a big reason for that is I have had very dull fatigue and nausea, but it has been ongoing much longer than what the other ones were. So the other ones were very acute pain and symptoms, but they stopped, like they had a big taper around like, okay, 8 weeks, 9 weeks. You're like, and then around 12 weeks, it's just like, it's going away very strong. And I don't think maybe this last week, my nausea's been gone for the most part. But up until then, I've been dealing with it every day. But it hasn't been very acute. It's just been kind of chronic, ongoing, come and go through the day.
And so do you have recollection of that being the case with Lucy?
Well, I didn't throw up with Lucy, and that's before, or I threw up one time. That was it with her. And that was before I knew how to manage my nausea. So that was like before the stress pack, before being really great with my eating, like knowing what affected my nausea. It just was an accident that happened. Okay. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're really comparing it to like the last 3 boys.
Yeah, I'm comparing it to the last 3 boys.
Okay. Interesting.
I feel like that's a good comparison. It's like I've had 3 boys. Mm-hmm. This one's definitely different. Another thing is I get very, very, very hairy on my face with my boys. And That's been significant. Like we went skiing at 20 weeks last year. You remember that? And I had all the hoarfrost all over my face.
Yes.
So all the frost like stuck to the hair on my face, and it looked like I had a beard.
Yeah.
So to go in and get one of my sister's like dermaplaning razors and like take all the peach fuzz. I have like blonde peach fuzz that I get, and take it off my face. And then I remember it stressed me out because like, do I go all the way down my neck? Like I just had like fuzzies everywhere. And I have had people ask like, well, does it grow back thicker or stronger or whatever? You know, like if you were to shave, no, it doesn't come back. It just like once and it's gone. I haven't done it since then. And my belly also gets really hairy. I'm like James the Giant Peach. So I don't feel like I have that. Like I always have a little like few face, like I can't pull my facial hair, you know, right now.
Yeah, I certainly have.
I could pull yours.
Yeah.
We're like looking at each other's hair on each other's face. But like it's blonde, so it's not like it's like super obvious either way. I always have like a little hair on my face, but with the last 3 boys, again, I feel like it's the testosterone. I have a lot of hair on my face.
Interesting.
So we'll see. Maybe this will just be my Jacob, you know, instead of like Esau.
Yeah, I hope not for his sake.
Lacob. The Lacob.
Oh yeah, it's just like I wouldn't want the one to be out. Yeah. You had the least amount of testosterone in the womb.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, if my son will never watch my pregnancy videos, but say they were to, I'm sure he will be just as much man when he's out, but he's not giving me the symptoms. So
okay, so you're confident it's a girl, which would honestly
would
be a blessing. Obviously, a boy would be a blessing, but Lucy, you know, just for the sake of our daughter, she's been wanting a sister for a while now. So
yeah, it's funny. She has a good perspective, or kind of. She's just like smart. I feel like because she's my daughter, so of course I think she's smart. But we went on a little picnic, and I was telling her, I'm like, she's like, I think it's a boy. I'm sure it's a boy. And she's in denial, which is great. That's why I can be so confident it's a girl. I wouldn't say that if it would get her hopes up, but she's just like, no, it's a boy. And I was like, well, you love baby Lionel. Like, you'll love a baby boy or a baby girl. Like, they're just both babies and they're sweet. And she's like, yeah, I do love when they're babies, but then they get to be 3 or 4 or 5, and all they want to do is be rough and wrestle with me.
Nice.
It's like, that's actually a really good point. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. All right, Katie, I have to jump in here because there is only, I think, 1 day left, if I'm not mistaken, of our back to school sale for the Voberg Music Academy. And I mentioned this in the last episode. I'm going to mention it again. There are some time sensitive events taking place this fall that you have the opportunity to be a part of if you do sign up this week. Not only that, when you sign up with this back to school special, you get 10% off each and every month. Voberg Music Academy is designed to help you learn to play music by ear. We teach piano, guitar, fiddle, mandolin, ukulele, and it's more and more become a family platform. And so I love that. I'd say like over half of our students are signed up for, one piano class, and they've got 3 of their kids going through the one piano class. How cool is that? That like it can be such an affordable way to bring music into the home. That is a thrill to us. The fact that more and more people are playing music as a family, that they're learning it by ear, so they're able to apply it immediately. They're singing worship songs, they're singing hymns together as a family. And so again, we love seeing it take place in that context. You can use the musical skills that you acquire through Voberg Music Academy for whatever your motivations are. Maybe if you want to take it down to the nursing home and perform for your grandparents at the nursing home, that's a great motivation to learn to play music. Anyways, I just wanted to jump in here and interrupt all the fun stuff you're talking about and let them know that this sale is ending soon. So check the link below. Sign up before it's too late.
So anyways, we will be thrilled no matter what. I'd be just as excited as if it were a boy.
Right.
Like truly, because it's like, it'd just be so fun. Like I love my boys. They're such a posse and they're such a pack. And so to add to the pack would just make the pack that much cooler. And then obviously the whole girl thing would be really new because it's been a while. So it'd be really fun. So anyways, okay, there's that. Intermittent fasting. This is the thing I get the question the most about. And I've referenced it a couple times. I've not been intermittent fasting. But here out at the tent, we have kind of different eating habits.
Yeah, all of our eating habits. I mean, this is I'd say healthiest my evening eating routine has been since being a young adult, just because we eat dinner and then we are done for the day. And that's because it gets dark here and we're not, I guess, like prowling around the kitchen in the middle of the night,
it's
know,
like
going to the fridge.
Dig through the ice chest, and we really only keep like things in our ice chest that we're going to use. Yeah, so we don't have a freezer to freeze treats in, and candy would melt or like get gross if it was out in the heat or whatever. So, yeah, so it's been great eating habits wise, just by nature of our environment. So I'm probably going 12 to 14 hours on average, just not eating. We eat breakfast a little later, like 8 or 9 here, and so that's been great. I've felt really good. In terms of diet, there hasn't been anything specific I'm doing. It kind of stresses the kids out. Like Leanne at my last maternity appointment, which my midwife's awesome, and she comes out here to our tent. But he was like, "Mommy, I really need you to start eating more real food for pregnancy." Just because I haven't been eating, they like associate real food for pregnancy. I was like, "Well, what's that?" He's like, "Well, a lot of fish and a lot of eggs."
Okay.
And I was like, "You're right. Those
Nice.
are things I ate a ton with Lionel, especially in like the 3rd trimester and stuff." And so I do probably need to like shape up my protein intake and stuff, but we eat a lot of red meat out here.
Yeah, that because we have the grill. It just we're doing
lots
a lot
of meat.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been eating. So going back to the transition, that was like just any calories that were available were acceptable for that like week and a half.
True, yeah.
And then we got settled in here and we got back to some healthy eating habits. And I think that's only continuing to be the case, honestly.
Yeah.
I think you've gotten a good routine of knowing how to buy produce, how long you can, store it. And so we've been more consistent with salads and fresh food.
Yeah. I will say, like, I eat a ton of fruit. Like this summer, fruits just sound so good. And things like nectarines, watermelon, honeydew, like plums, all those things are stuff I was 100% not touching. Apples during my last pregnancy, because that's not great for weight loss. And I was losing weight on that pregnancy. But I'm not trying to lose weight this pregnancy, so just bring on all the fruit sugar. I don't care. Spiking my insulin over here, but I feel like my body can handle it at this point. So I feel like that kind of ties into weight gain. And what's kind of funny is with my last pregnancy, I had gained 10 pounds before. Okay, I'm trying to think of. By the time I was 8 weeks, I'd gained 10 pounds. And that escalated until when I was halfway through. I was 20 weeks, and I was the weight I usually am when I deliver. So
this is our last pregnancy?
That was my last pregnancy. Isn't that crazy? I was 20 weeks, and I was just like where I was at when I delivered Lionel.
I mean, I don't know if that's crazy. I'm sure it's...
It was just, I think it was the nature of like January and February for me. They're just like... They're harder months to keep on top of stuff, and especially when you aren't feeling good. It's just kind of like I was just eating oatmeal every night, and like that's what led to the whole intermittent fasting thing, was that. So this pregnancy, we walk like crazy everywhere. Nothing's close. And so my first trimester, I didn't gain any weight. I do not have a scale out here, and so I have no clue where I'm at right now or what my weight gain's been.
You are lean and fit, I'll tell you that much.
Well, Elisha's always affirming of me.
But it is because of the fit. I mean, it's because of many things.
No,
like
I think it's just our lifestyle out here. You just burn a lot of calories.
Yeah, I think I've lost weight since moving out here.
I think so.
Everything is so physically like intensive.
Yeah.
It's like physically demanding to get the water, to wash the dishes back at the creek, to bring groceries in from the car. Everything's such a long walk, and you're always carrying something. And
so it's just been like, I haven't thought about weight gain this pregnancy. I'm not stressed about getting a scale or weighing, or even like my midwife doesn't weigh me because I'm out here in the tent. And it's just kind of like, I know I'm healthy in terms of like BMI. I need to work on like my blood pressure, my supplementation, stuff like that, like internal health. But I feel like, it's like,
that's crazy. You're 17 weeks.
Yeah.
You don't look pregnant.
Well, it depends on what I wear too.
But
People say that, but I'm like, but then you see what I'm wearing. It's like,
well, I see kind of all of it, really. All the outfits and the lack thereof, and you just don't look pregnant. That's insane, Katie.
It has been really fun this pregnancy to feel like, I think because I've just like been moving so much and I don't have a ton. I usually am like a little just more pleasantly plump around my midsection at this time of pregnancy. I can actually see my uterus and feel my uterus growing.
Wow.
And also I'm just so in tune with, it's my 6th baby. So it's like I know the concept of like my uterus has grown and then I feel it shrink and then I feel it grow like so many times now. So I can like feel the rim of it as it grows every week. And it's so fun to see the baby in there kicking and feel it and like know exactly where it is. Like my first pregnancy, I just thought, oh, the baby's somewhere inside my stomach. I didn't realize like your uterus has to grow. Does that make sense? So it's like there's no way the baby can be up here right now. It has to be tucked down in like the little water balloon of my uterus. And so now it's like I know exactly where to go to like feel it. And I don't know. It's been really special because I think before with the first baby, I'd just be like, I don't know, where is it, And now it's just like, that's really sweet. It's just so fun to feel life inside of you. Anyways, so, okay, in terms of exercise, though, I'm not exercising. And I'm not doing my fitness workouts or I'm not running.
Your life is exercise, honestly.
Yeah, but we go on a lot of hikes, which has been really fun. And also, it's just like out to the car, out to the podcast, or out to the dishes. It's like we're just constantly moving out here. And so I've really loved that. Like it is so fun to not have exercising on your to-do list and just feel like life takes care of moving. And then you feel good when you go to sleep. Like I don't have any aches or pains. And that's a big reason why I started working out. Consistency with the last baby was I had so much back pain and so many aches in my body already at 20 weeks. And so it's like, I do know as we go into the winter, like I'll have to pick up on that because I don't want those aches and pains in my body, and exercise you would think would be like the last thing you do. It's like, oh, I need to rest my body. But it's like, no, exercise actually takes away the aches in your body when you're pregnant. And so I know I'll have to kick into that, but right now it's really nice just feeling so much movement and no pain. So anyways, I'm really grateful. And then with breastfeeding, this is the longest I've ever breastfed a baby into pregnancy.
Yeah, and he enjoyed every second of it. I'll tell you what.
He did. Elisha was on me for a while to wean Lionel, and I didn't want to do it during the move or the transition to the tent.
Well, I really wanted to have an overnight getaway with you.
Yeah, that's true.
I really wanted to make that happen before, this next kiddo. And have we gotten an overnight? I don't think did it.
It hasn't happened.
No, when we did. We got just a couple weeks ago when we were
that was overnight.
in Bend. Yeah, that was
You're
great.
right.
When your parents took the kids. That was great.
That was really special.
That was
really fun. So, anyway, so we have had one. Our lives clearly have been a blur. Did we do that? Did we not? But so that was great, and hopefully we can go on like a little trip or something before the baby comes.
Yes, it'd be fun.
We may or may not.
Sure.
Just depending on how timing goes. But I really was enjoying breastfeeding Lionel, and it was so much easier than trying to think. It was one thing to not have to think of coming out here to the tent with like refrigerating milk or powdered milk or making bottles. Like it was just so handy to be able to breastfeed. And then it reached a point with us all sleeping in one room where he really started to manipulate the situation. He's been sleeping through the night since 8 weeks, 6 weeks. He's been a great sleeper. And now at a year old, he started waking up every hour to get in bed with me.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you still there?
And Nurse would go, Mama, Mama. Yeah. And then when I didn't come, he'd freak out. And so I was like, oh, it's the transition. And he was teething. He already has 12 teeth. And so he was teething. I had all these excuses. And then it was like, I am wiped. And
you're dehydrated apparently too.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I'm dehydrated.
The cause.
And the other thing was, Louie, this happened with Louie and the trailer, and it was a big reason why I resented the trailer so much, and I resented Louie so much. Like, loved him to death. He was my son. But, like, in that season, I was very frustrated, and it definitely affected my bond with him because I would be so upset that I was so tired during the day and could not sleep at night because he knew I was right there. For 4 years now, I have worked with thousands of women in the Get It All Done Club from a variety of different backgrounds and lifestyles, helping them overcome that overwhelm when it comes to motherhood. So we break things down very, very practically to things like helping your children stay in bed in the morning, or take a 2-hour nap in the afternoon, or go to bed in the evening so that you have free time to rest or get things done that you need to get done. We go over getting very efficient at household tasks so you're able to put more time and energy into what you actually love to do. In 2024, every month I'm adding something new, whether that is an interview with my mother who brings in wisdom from having 11 children, or just something that is working for our home in this time. If that sounds like you, if you feel like you would like to become more efficient in your motherhood, or maybe just start enjoying it more, you can check out the link below for a masterclass. I will give you some tips straight away on how to identify the pain points in your home and how to begin solving them. I do pitch you on the Get It All Done Club in that webinar because I believe in the product so much. It's actually never discounted, so you can be confident that the price that it is today will never be cheaper. So Elisha really helped me just be like, whatever happens tonight, don't get him. And I've never had to do that like older sleep training, I guess. Because even with Louis, when I wasn't in the room, he'd sleep through the night. With Lionel, we didn't have that option. So basically we moved into a house and then Louis just slept through the night. We separated ourselves. But it's like I didn't have that option here, so we had to do the whole cry it out thing. And I mean, he probably cried for like 3 to 5 minutes. It wasn't long, but it feels like forever. And then he did that maybe 2 or 3 times the first night and 2 times the second night, and then he was weaned.
Oh, and he's been sleeping. So our whole
that's why the last like couple weeks
you're right,
have been
actually.
So good. We just put the kids to bed and wake up in the morning. It is such a gift.
It has been such a delight. Sleep is like a perk here. It's become a feature of the property, rather than a bug. Rather than something that was a pain point. Yeah, sleep has been sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we look kind of tired right now, but that's just because like the doldrums of the afternoon. I mean, I'm kind of like eyes half open, but anyways, yeah. So we've got in great sleep. I stopped breastfeeding. That's probably another reason why just the whole weight gain thing during pregnancy. The first trimester, I was just breastfeeding consistently with him. And then now he's on goat milk. So we have, goat milk. And we also have the powdered stuff that I take when we go on trips. And he's really like been on eating food consistently. He's really only using it for his fluids. Because he's not dependent even on the milk. It's just kind of like a fun thing for him to be able to do. And in terms of weaning, I just went cold turkey. I nursed him once a day for a little bit.
Right.
And then that was it. So anyways.
He was ready. He knew it. He's like...
He was.
He knew he was on borrowed time there.
Well, and that's the thing. What stopped during the night is I would still, the first night he cried, I would give him a bottle. I tried to give him a bottle, and it was cold milk because I don't have an easy way to heat up the milk here. It's like heat up the Blackstone, boil water.
Right.
Like, I mean, you're 20 minutes out on a bottle. So he just had to get used to cold milk, and he hated the cold milk in the middle of the night. And so he just stopped waking up for the cold milk. Because it's like I wasn't opposed to giving him a bottle when he cried. When it was, I let him cry it out maybe twice.
Yes.
And then in the morning, like 4 a.m, I was like, I'll give him a bottle. And he did not like that. So
yeah, he sleeps like 12 hours straight now.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, we're back to doing well. I already talked about just like eating in terms of like fluids. I haven't been great with that. So it's something I'm trying to improve. And I do think I've had like some swelling in my hands and stuff already, and I think it's just like heat related and dehydration related. So that's like my big thing. It's working on my hydration. And then in terms of cravings, first trimester cravings, I haven't had any.
Really?
That I know of. Can you think of any
cravings? You did
cravings?
get pretty excited when your family brought those pickles over a couple days ago.
I did. Yeah, it's like I like vinegar. I'll like eat a lemon, eat the whole lemon if
But
it
you're
like
right.
comes in my water.
You're not craving it. You're like not going to the store for just that thing.
Yeah, I mean, like fresh fruit's really fun. I eat that when we have it, like all the time. Yeah, I mean, we had a really weak I had a really weak moment. Actually, this is probably like my biggest craving moment was we were moving and we were going to go out to eat. And I forget where you said we were going to go first, like Udoba or something like that. And I was like, okay. And then we passed Panda Express.
Oh.
And one of the kids brought up Panda Express. And we haven't had Panda Express for maybe 2.5 years. Like we just like swore off that place. And I just started salivating like crazy. I was like, Elisha, could we go? Could we go? And he was like, okay. And then he got major indigestion afterwards.
Oh, I think that almost killed us.
I didn't regret a bite. I felt great.
That was brutal. We can go another 50
Elisha's
years
like,
now.
we are not going there again. But that was the most I've had that like, yeah, like, I'm not going to be satiated unless I have it feel like the Rapunzel, like you need to go in the witch's garden. I don't care what the cost is. That was my feeling. And of course, it was just a fleshly urge like anything else that could have been repressed. But we indulged it. Thanks to Elisha.
Whoa, thanks to me, we indulged our fleshly impulse.
You let me indulge mine, which is gracious of you. The whole family suffered, and I was very satisfied.
Well, have you considered like taking up a craving? Feels like a good time to do it. I don't know. It seems like a waste of a season, really.
Oh man, I think I haven't had time. I think a craving sounds like another to-do list item. Like going to the grocery store, I have to think ahead of time what we're gonna get, and so it's like it's just too inconvenient to crave anything. Don't you think? I mean, even in our house, I didn't really have any cravings. I didn't also, this was a huge blessing this pregnancy, is I was able to cook through our whole first trimester. Chicken and ground beef and just whatever. Like nothing. I actually ended up trying out a ton of new recipes when we were still in our house.
Yes.
And that was super fun for me. I do think a lot of food that I'd made a lot didn't sound good because I'd immediately picture how it would taste. So it's like brown bag burritos or like, chicken broccoli braid or whatever. I'd think of it and be like, ew, that doesn't sound good. But then I would look at a recipe book and be like,
I wonder what that tastes like.
I wonder what that's like. The picture looks good. And so I was able to cook a lot of different food. And like, that was a real gift because that's not been true. Usually my cooking really suffers. It gets really bland or I have massive aversions to like chicken or something like that. So yeah, I mean, come to think of it, we weren't eating good rancher's chicken in those first trimesters. And the way they package their chicken, it's not gross.
Yes, it makes it much easier to handle, prepare.
Yeah, you aren't dealing with big chunks of it at a time. It's just like one little package at a time.
Yeah, but you're right. That was something that you've, in past pregnancies, have really had to fight through is your first trimester nausea when you're cooking.
Yeah.
And preparing meals for the family. And you've always been so faithful to do it, amidst your nausea. But it did seem like it was less miserable for you this time.
Some pregnancies more faithful than other pregnancies. Some pregnancies not very faithful at all. But yeah, so that's it. That's your first trimester. It's actually kind of crazy to think back on even that time because it seems like a lifetime ago.
You're right.
When we were in the house and I was like experimenting with food because out here it's like, can I grill it? Okay, we aren't cooking it. Or like, make it in a pot on the stove. So it's been pretty basic out here in the tent. But I do think just being outside has been so nice.
Yes.
Breathing fresh air, like that's all contributed to, it's like, well, the sun contributes to the fatigue, I think. The overall just like feeling good, aside from the fatigue, I think it's just been due to being outdoors. The tent's so big and airy, we can open up the back and the front. I actually got to thinking, what about that, that video, that walkthrough I filmed? Would you be able to send that out in Top 5 Tuesday?
If we can, I don't know. I mean, I have my Top 5 Tuesdays pretty planned out for the next 2 years, so might have to make some adjustments to fit it in.
I just thought it would be fun to link it in there so people could get a view of the tent and where we're living and stuff. Honestly, we've made some improvements, though. We've graveled under the picnic table. Well, Elisha did that while I was gone.
How long is that video?
50. I have no clue.
Is it recent? Is it like pretty up to date? Because I think since then we've like built our outhouse. We have our
built
ADU
our
here.
outhouse.
Got our new tent.
We have our new tent. It's true, but maybe you could link like the first rendition, and then
Yeah, I'll send that out. Today's
more up-to-date walkthrough.
I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Today's Thursday that people are listening, so I'll do it next. The Tuesday's
Yeah. So
evening.
if you subscribe before next Tuesday, then it will go out in that Top 5 Tuesday. We'll put the link down below. But I've been wanting to give some of our listeners context that aren't in the Get It All Done Club. So I made this video for the Get It All Done Club, but I think it'd be fun to share with some of our Top 5 Tuesday listeners.
Sure. Yeah.
We've had people ask, are you going to do walkthroughs and stuff on YouTube? It's like, absolutely not. It's the last place I want to post visuals of our life is on YouTube. I don't mind talking about it, but that's something I've just really enjoyed. Keeping more private and to people who are actually intentional with keeping up with our life.
Yeah, but it's made it really fun for the people that we've had over for dinner. Now, because we've been able to do that recently. Your family, some other family friends, and some of my family. And it's because they haven't seen our camp. It's really fun. You feel like you get to show your home for the first time, and it's really been fun.
It's that in-person connection.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh, this is so cool. You don't know what to picture, and now you get to see it. And that is also something we aren't going to be finding out the gender on our 20-week ultrasound.
Yep.
We're committing to you guys right now, just like we've been committing to everybody else we know verbally. Or if people say, are you going to find out? We just say no. Because with the last baby, we said maybe. And if you say maybe, you're probably going to find out. Yeah. So this will be our 4th baby not finding out.
Yeah. So we've found out for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm excited. We have to wait till the end. And we'll just see if I grow a beard or not, I guess. And what gender we have. But
boy,
yeah.
This is exciting. I cannot believe that we are we are close to halfway through this pregnancy. That is mind-blowing.
It is. It's been such a background thing to our life. I feel like. Don't you? Like,
well, I mean, if you feel that way,
yeah,
obviously it's been background to me. I
feel like it's just like kind of galloping along because we have so many other things that we're doing and so many things we need to get done before this baby enters the world. So it's really nice. Like, I'm not feeling nervous about having a 6th baby at all. Like with the 5th, I was really intimidated by that. Going from 4 to 5 children, I just felt like this is going to be so difficult. I already felt really maxed at the 4 and really content with the 4. Like, this is great. Why are we going to mess it all up, and have a 5th? But then Lionel was just such an easy add into our family. And then, I don't know, having the puppy has just been a thing, and he's getting a lot better trained. We had a trainer come around over that works with like working dogs, and I just sucked up a bug.
I'm sorry. Yeah, huge progress. But you're right. That our life is, we're still living in a tent, and we still have, a puppy and a 1-year-old, but it really has, especially, we said this, already, but the last couple of weeks, just really, I feel like we have bandwidth again. It's such a gift. I feel like we're getting great sleep. You're making incredible meals for us. Just general health is such a big deal. We talk about our basic 5, like get to bed at a reasonable hour, get up at a reasonable hour, get in God's word, exercise, move your body. We've gone on hikes, we've gone swimming, moving every day, and eat, put something in your body that's generally healthy. And it's like getting back to those basics all of a sudden gives you bandwidth again. And so it's fun. We've never not been excited for this pregnancy, but I think we haven't really had the time to think about it and to like really consider a 6th baby. I mean, for like extended periods of time.
I haven't even I think about it when people ask about it. Like, are you intimidated about having a 6th baby? It's like, no, I'm just stoked about it. And also that marks the finish date of this season too. Like this temporary living season. We are going to be in a house when we have the 6th baby, whether that's the one that we're building or whether that's a rental. And so to me, it's like, oh, well, I know that life is a lot more streamlined in a controlled environment.
Yes.
And so I think if I talk about like making your foundational threshold lower, it's like I'm going to be out of the tent. So that's automatically going to buy me bandwidth for the 6th baby. So I'm just like, totally. That just sounds like an easy swap,
Wow.
we've had babies many times before. We have not lived in a tent many times before.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's been an adjustment, and
it's been great.
Yes, it's been good.
We're temporarily, or already, I should say, mourning the loss of the season.
The season, yeah. It's like we're like, oh man, this is gonna be a bummer when the season's over because it's so good
we
right
light
now.
it, like Leon lights a candle every night, and we read our book as a family while the kids are in bed. And it's like Elisha and I get in bed at like 8:45 and read with his little book light, and it's like it's just a different world when there's electricity, and like 8:30 feels like the night is young, not like
Or when you have electricity.
when you have electricity and like the house and like all those things. And it's just like going with the flow here has, at first we were fighting it and it was really hard and we weren't adjusted. And now we're like, oh, we're like getting used to this. And like, I think we're going to crave it when we can control everything about our lives again.
Right.
Instead of living with nature. So, okay. Well, speaking of which, the sun is blasting me between the eyeballs. So I'm going to go find some shade. I'll let you guys go.
Well, Katie, thank you so much for sharing all those fun details about this pregnancy with our child that we are so looking forward to bringing into this world.
Yeah.
You're
really
also,
excited.
I need to say, just from my perspective, you are crushing this pregnancy. You've crushed all your pregnancies. But the fact that you've dealt with like you called it kind of like that more dull nausea with such a good attitude, because, it's, I know when I get a little bit sick from anything, it's like you're the first person I usually take it out on.
No, that's not true. When Elisha gets sick, he is not the stereotypical guy, or at least the guy that like memes are made out of. It's like, oh, I have a head cold, like I'm dying. He's like been sick for 3 days. I'm like, are you okay? It's like, yeah, these are all my symptoms. It's like, oh my goodness. Like you just don't let on you're sick and you just keep plowing
Sometimes.
through.
I think it depends on the season and all the context and stuff.
You're really sick before you end up in bed. But okay.
All right. Folks, thank you all so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave it a rating or a review on any platform that you listen on, or if you watch it on YouTube, we would love it. If you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, maybe leave a comment. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.